2:15 a.m. A Russian staff officer grins on the Dnipro Bridge as 500 vehicles rumble beneath his boots. Behind him was 5 miles of armor, 9,000 tons of ammunition, and enough fuel for 2,000 troops. All of these were Moscow's bargaining chip for the peace talks, an invincible fortress on wheels. However, he has no idea he's standing on his own grave. Why? Because below the bridge, something has been waiting for 72 hours. Not in the sky, underneath, where no one thought to look. And in 30 minutes, this convoy will simply cease to exist. Russia had spent millions on protection. With the Pantsir S-1 air defense systems that comes with 57 E-6 missiles, Nepo-M radar detecting objects from 200 kilometers away, and an A-50 aircraft circling at 31,000 feet. All of these gave them eyes in the sky. But while every eye was looking up, not one was looking down. And guess what? Attached beneath the bridge were 12 Ukrainian FPV drones. Cost per unit, $600. Total investment, $7,200. Each carries a PG-7VL-shaped charge, powerful enough to punch through 12 inches of reinforced concrete. 2 Ukrainian soldiers in a hidden bunker 500 yards away hold the trigger. They've been watching for 3 nights, waiting for the perfect moment. And that moment is about to arrive. At 2:17 a.m., a cheap Chinese tire fails. One Ural truck stalls. The entire 5-mile convoy grinds to a halt, stuck on the bridge, engines idling, fuel tanks full, ammunition stacked tight. The trap just snapped shut. From 12,000 feet up, a Ukrainian drone watches every heat signature freeze in place. The operator sees it, the perfect kill zone. He presses one key. 3 seconds later, 12 green lights blink beneath the bridge. Magnetic clamps release. The drones drop 3 feet, then their rotors spin up, merging with engine noise above. The AI divides targets. 6 drones would go for the ammunition trucks, 4 for the fuel tankers, and 2 for the command vehicles. But here's the terrifying part. These drones don't need permission to kill. No operator approval, no human hesitation. Just cold mathematics deciding who lives and who dies in the next 60 seconds. However, someone noticed. At 2:18 a.m., Lieutenant Volkov stares at his Pantsir radar. A flicker. Digital noise. 99 out of 100 officers would ignore it. Without permission, he switches to active radar. His screen explodes with dots, targets in perfect formation under the bridge. He fires. A $160,000 missile screams down and hits a decoy. The explosion lights up the night. Immediately, chaos erupts. There's screaming coming from the radio. Trucks break, collide, jackknife. Tracers rip into the darkness. The 5-mile convoy becomes a tangled parking lot. But unknown to him, Volkov just made the worst decision of his military career. Because that explosion, it wasn't a victory. It was an invitation for the real attack to begin. Although the element of surprise is gone, the Ukrainians planned for this. The drones don't panic. They execute Protocol Omega-7. They turn 90 degrees to the radar, flying sideways. To the Pantsir's computer, they vanish into background clutter. Then one drone activates an X-band jammer. Volkov's screen goes pure white static. He's blind. While Russians fire at ghosts, the drones slip back under the bridge girders. Right now, every Russian commander thinks they're hunting Ukrainian drones. They have no idea they're the ones being hunted. But 70 kilometers away, Russia's A-50 radar aircraft sees everything. Its sensors don't care about tricks. The data streams to an S-400 battery. Launch detected. A hypersonic missile built to kill fighter jets, now hunting $600 drones at Mach 12. Russia's most advanced radar just gave Ukraine exactly what they wanted. Every defensive system in the region looking at the wrong target at the exact wrong time. The drones have 5 seconds to live. At Mach 12, there's no outrunning death. No evasive maneuvers, no second chances. Just 5 seconds between existence and obliteration. 2 minutes after the chaos started, one drone deploys a 100-foot fiber optic line. At the end, an ALE-50 decoy that amplifies radar signatures 100 times. The $3 million missile swerves and detonates harmlessly over the river. The fighter would have thought he had the drones, only to be beaten by a fishing line with a radio. A $3 million hypersonic killer just got humiliated by $50 worth of hobby electronics, and every Russian radar operator just watched it happen in real time. The explosion becomes a beacon, pulling every Russian eye skyward, and while they look up, the real attack begins. The 11 drones stop hiding. They rocket upward from beneath the bridge, their electric motors screaming at maximum RPM, 18,000 revolutions per minute. This isn't stealth anymore. It's a drag race. In less than 6 seconds, they close the 200 yards between the river's surface and the underside of the bridge deck. They don't aim for the trucks, they aim for the concrete directly beneath them, locking onto coordinates with a 3-inch margin of error. A few seconds later, Drone 1 reaches position directly beneath an ammunition truck carrying 120mm mortar shells and 122mm artillery rounds. Its PG-7L warhead detonates with a pre-programmed delay of 1.1 seconds after impact. The shaped charge punches through 12 inches of concrete, then the steel support plate exploding against the vehicle's chassis. The result is a directed jet of molten metal moving at nearly 7,000 meters per second. It tears through the truck's hull, igniting stacked munitions inside. Drone 2 strikes the second ammunition cluster 15 meters east. Drone 3 targets a fuel tanker loaded with JP-8 aviation fuel. Drones 4 and 5 hit simultaneously under adjacent fuel trucks. Drone 6 detonates beneath a mobile command post. Each blast is time-staggered by milliseconds, overlapping shock waves calculated to multiply pressure on the structural frame. Upon impact, the first fuel truck ruptures. JP-8 spills across the deck and cascades through cracked asphalt like a waterfall of fire. The blast wave rolls across the convoy in a 70-foot sphere of orange flame. The final 4 drones attack the support columns themselves. Drones 8 and 9 hit the central pillars, while drones 10 and 11 aim for the southern anchor points. Their warheads detonate in synchrony, 4 thunderclaps at once, each hammering lateral pressure into the bridge's vertical load paths. You're probably wondering, why attack the bridge instead of the trucks directly? Why the 1.1 second delay? Because what's about to happen isn't just an explosion, it's physics weaponized. This orchestrated attack is where the true diabolical genius of the Ukrainian plan reveals itself. The warhead fuses were delayed by precisely 1.1 seconds. Why? Because the drones were never meant to be the main weapon. They were just the trigger. The space between the river and the bridge deck becomes a containment chamber. The explosion from the shaped charges, with nowhere to go, reflects off the water and concrete, amplifying itself into a 5,000 psi shockwave of pure force. The bridge wasn't destroyed by the drones, it was destroyed by its own geometry. Ukraine turned Russia's shelter into their executioner. This amplified shockwave pushes and shatters the bridge. The massive concrete support columns, designed to handle vertical weight, are hit with unimaginable horizontal force. They don't bend, they disintegrate. The rebar inside snaps like dry twigs. Stress fractures propagate like lightning through the concrete. The southern half of the span sags 6 inches, then 12, then 30. A column fails completely. The deck above it folds inward. A second later, the bridge begins to collapse. What follows is chaos compressed into seconds. The first truck to fall is a Ural stacked with 82mm mortar shells. It plunges nose first into the crater below. The impact sets off sympathetic detonations in adjacent vehicles. Within 2 seconds, 3 ammunition carriers detonate together, creating a chain explosion that propagates across the southern span. A Pantsir S-1 launcher parked near the bridge's midpoint tries to reverse out, but its path is blocked by burning vehicles. Its 30mm autocannon fires blindly into the smoke, tracer rounds streaking into the night. Then comes the secondary detonation. 2 fuel trucks ignite simultaneously. The heat reaches 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. The explosion registers on regional seismic monitors as a 2.6 magnitude tremor. Windows shatter across the riverbank. A shockwave rolls outward, flattening vegetation and toppling utility poles. On the bridge, it's no longer a convoy, it's an inferno. Flames climb 80 feet into the air. Trucks melt into their own chassis. Fuel streams across the asphalt like rivers of fire. The southern span's rebar skeleton glows red, then buckles. The entire southern section of the Dnipro Bridge gives way. 40 vehicles, trucks, fuel carriers, command vehicles all plummet into the river below. Some explode mid-fall, scattering shrapnel and debris into the water. Others sink, hissing steam as burning diesel floats to the surface. The air is filled with the roar of combustion and the metallic shriek of twisting steel. Overhead, Russian infrared optics are blinded. Heat blooms from multiple fires overload sensors. Commanders can't distinguish friends from wreckage. Radio discipline collapses. Transmission logs later show overlapping panic calls. Bridge hit. Unknown munitions. We're burning. Request air cover. No comms with lead vehicles. A few minutes later, at least 110 of the 500 vehicles on the southern approach are destroyed or immobilized. Satellite imaging would confirm half a mile of continuous wreckage, a smoking scar across both ends of the bridge. By midnight, the Dnipro Bridge is a blackened skeleton. Ukrainian drones circle overhead, filming the wreckage. Russian engineers debate repair feasibility, but know the truth. Any reconstruction crew becomes the next target. One Ukrainian engineer sums it up. The enemy lost their supply chain. We lost 12 lithium batteries. In less than 45 minutes, over $300 million worth of material, trucks, fuel, ammunition, and command assets was erased by less than $10,000 worth of drones. War has changed, quietly, irreversibly, and it began here, where 12 drones, each costing less than a smartphone, rewrote the rules of modern conflict forever. The lesson? In 21st century warfare, the side that wins isn't the one with the biggest army. It's the one that thinks 3 moves ahead. The one that turns an enemy's strength, size, predictability, overconfidence into their fatal weakness. Russia brought a fortress. Ukraine brought a fishing line and some code. The fortress lost. So here's the question. If you had $10,000 and one night, what trap would you set against a force 1,000 times stronger? How would you turn their own weight against them? Drop your answers in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and would love to do a deep dive into videos like this, check our video, Ukrainian Missile Annihilates Russia's Air Fortress. Then, this happened. Link in the description below.